First, we're going to open Pro Tools and we're going to create a new session. Name it Bounce. Choose Wave, 48K sample rate, 24-bit bit depth. For I/O settings, we're going to choose Stereo Mix. We'll make sure our interleave is checked and we'll save it where we want to save it. In this case, I'm just going right to the desktop for now. And click Create. Okay, next we're going to import the video file. So we'll go to File, Import Video. I'll navigate to the bounce.mp4 file. This looks a little bit different on mine because I have the Pro Tools Ultimate version, not the standard version, but the options are still there that you need, which is a new track, session start. We're going to leave import audio file unchecked. And if you want to zoom into the video, because it's quite small right now, you're going to make sure that this A to Z is checked. And we could zoom in and out of the timeline. If you don't see the video window, you would go to Window, Video, bring up that video. You could resize that window by clicking in the bottom corner of the window. Next, we're going to import the audio file. So go to File, Import Audio. We'll navigate to Basketball Wave. We're going to choose copy just because that's generally the way we want to do this. If we choose, like I mentioned in class, if we choose add, you can wind up referencing a file that's on a drive that you don't always have access to. We'll get a dialog pointing us to where we want to save the file. Audio files works, and we're going to save the clip to the clip list, and you'll notice it's in the clip list. Next, we're going to create a new track. So track, new, or Shift Command N. And we're going to choose one mono audio track. We're going to name it Basketball. And click Create. And then we're going to drag the clip down from the clip list onto the track. We'll play it to make sure we hear it. Next, we're going to edit the sound. So we're going to make sure we have the Smart tool engaged, which is this bar above these three tools. We're going to place the cursor on the sound file at the very beginning of the first bounce. Look at the waveform, get the cursor as close to the beginning as possible. You can zoom in with the T and R key. So I'm going to place the cursor here, I'm going to zoom in with the T key, and I'm going to get right on top of this. So now you'll notice we're in grid mode, and I'm not able to really get directly on top of it. So switch to slip mode, so that way I could get in between the grid and place the cursor right on top of that. I'm going to press A on the keyboard, and this is going to cut the beginning of the file to where the cursor is. Again, you have to have the A to Z engaged for the keyboard focus mode. Hit the A key, and you'll notice it trims it in right to the beginning. Now we're going to place the cursor right before the second bounce and press B. B trims the clip in half. You'll notice we made it into two clips now. Repeat cutting up the clips with the third and fourth bounce, and then after the fourth bounce, we're going to place the cursor just before the fifth bounce and press S. So we'll trim that with the B key, and we'll cut that with the B key, and then we're going to place this right before the fifth bounce and press the S key, which will trim everything to the end, giving us 4 separate bounces. Now we're going to spot the sound effects to the picture. So looking at the video, we're going to place the cursor on a track with the sound at the exact point that the first bounce hits the floor. We're going to do this with a snapping trick. It's really valuable. So first of all, I'm going to go to the video and I want to find where the bounce hits the ground. You can use the comma and the period key to nudge one frame back and forth. So right here is where we want. So here's what you want to do. Notice I didn't click anything yet, right? I'm holding down Control, so my selector hand is at the bottom. And while holding down Control, I'm going to click on the clip and it'll snap to the cursor. It's a really quick, easy way to get things very precise. I'll continue that with the second one. There's a second bounce. Okay, so the cursor is there. I'm going to hold the control key down, and then I'm going to click on the bottom of the second bounce, and it snaps over. And we'll do the same thing for the third bounce. So the cursor is there, hold down control, then click on the clip and it'll snap over. Since the fourth clip is off screen, we're just going to approximate where it is. So everything should seem in sync, and the fourth one should seem within time with the others. Next, we're going to go to the track view button and switch to volume view. So right over here where it says wave, and if I make the track bigger, you'll see it says waveform. Switch it to volume and you'll see the volume line. And this is what allows us to adjust the volume of the track. You could command click on the line to create a breakpoint and option click to delete that breakpoint. Hold down command and you'll notice I get a hand with a little plus sign, and I can create breakpoints or keyframes. Then if I lift my hand up and don't have my hand on any modifier keys, I can adjust those points. And if I want to delete them, I would just hold down the option key and you'll see there's a little hand with a minus sign. And that allows me to delete those keys. We can also adjust the panning, left and right movement of the sound by switching from volume view to pan view. So if I change this to pan, you'll see a line, and the line is in the center as it is now. It's equally split between the left and right. I can hover over the line and drag up, and it'll drag the whole line up. Now sound will be coming only from the left. Drag it all the way down. Now the sound will be only coming from the right. Drag it to the middle, and once again we're in the center. If I hover above specific clips, you'll notice it actually automatically creates breakpoints. Another way to delete breakpoints is to drag a selection over them and hit delete. So I'm going to click a breakpoint at the beginning and end, and I'll hover over the end breakpoint. So I just get the finger without the plus or minus sign, and click and drag it down. And then I'll go to the first one I put in, and I'll drag it up to the top. So now if we play this, the sound is going to pan from left to right the way the ball moves. Next we're going to add reverb to this. So we're going to go to Views, Edit Window Views, and make sure Inserts A, E is checked. View, Edit Window View, and we're going to choose Inserts A through E. And that opened up the Inserts column. You can also do this by clicking on this drop down here and turning Inserts A and E on and off. We'll go to the top insert here, this little button, click on it, go to Plugin, Reverb. This is going to look a lot different on yours because I have a lot more plugins and I have it configured in a different way, but you can still find Plugin, Reverb, Deverb. We'll adjust the mix to 50%. You could play around selecting different types of reverbs and adjust the decay and mix. I'll choose a room, small. So now we've added some reverb to the sound. I'm going to switch back to waveform view. So we can either export just the audio or we can export the audio and video. I'll go through both. To export just the audio, we're going to select the video clip, and we're selecting the video clip just to specify the in and out point. Whatever our selection is specifies how much we're going to export. So this file will export from the beginning of the video clip to the end of the video clip. If I had just selected that then it would only export from the beginning of this clip to the end of this clip. So we're going to do the full video clip. So to export just audio, we go to File, Bounce to, that's the export dialog in Pro Tools, Disk. So bounce to disk is just to export audio. We'll choose Wave, Interleave, 24-bit, 48K. We can name it what we would like. By default, it's going to send it to the bounced files folder in your session folder, right? So right there, and I think that's fine. If you want it somewhere else, send it somewhere else, that's okay. And then you want to make sure offline is checked. That means the sound will bounce out not in real time. If you had offline off, it would bounce out in real time, which in this case isn't very long, but if you have an 8-minute film, you'll have to sit there for 8 minutes. And we just click bounce, and that's it. So if we look in the folder, you'll see there's bounce.wave. That's just the audio. To bounce the video as well as the audio, go to File, Bounce to QuickTime instead of disk. So QuickTime will bounce audio and video. So Wave, Interleave, 24-bit, 48K. We'll leave include video and same as source because we just want it to be the same codec as the source. You could leave replace timecode track engaged. We'll name it. Bounce is fine. Choose where we want it. It's going to go to bounced files. Make sure it says offline. Click bounce. And now if we go into that folder, in the bounce files folder, you'll see there is also a movie with the audio and video.